Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between towering mountains, there lived a young man named Leo. Leo was not like the others in his village. While most people sought comfort, soft beds, warm fires, and plenty of food, Leo was curious about something else. He had heard stories of ancient warriors and philosophers who trained their minds and bodies by embracing hardship willingly. They called it voluntary discomfort, and Leo wanted to understand why anyone would choose to suffer when life was already hard enough. One evening, Leo sat by the fire with his grandfather, a wise old man who had spent years studying the ways of the Stoics. "Grandfather," Leo asked, "why would someone choose to be uncomfortable? Doesn't life give us enough pain already?" His grandfather smiled and placed a hand on Leo's shoulder. "Ah, my boy, that is a question worth exploring. Let me tell you a story that might help you understand. Long ago, in a distant land, there was a great king named Darius. He ruled over a vast empire with wealth beyond imagination. His palaces were filled with gold, his tables overflowed with the finest foods, and his bed was so soft that he slept like a child every night. Yet, despite all his riches, Darius was unhappy. He feared losing his comfort. He worried about sickness, and he was terrified of death. His life, though luxurious, was ruled by fear. One day, a wandering philosopher named Zeno arrived at the king's court. Unlike the others who bowed before Darius, Zeno stood tall and spoke plainly. "Your Majesty," he said, "your wealth has become your prison. You do not own your gold, it owns you. You fear losing it, and so you are its slave." The king was furious at first, but something in Zeno's words struck him. "What would you have me do?" Darius asked. Zeno replied, "Practice voluntary discomfort. Sleep on the floor once a week, eat plain bread instead of feasts, walk barefoot in the cold. Do this not because you must, but because you must, but because you choose to. Only then will you see what true strength is." Darius, though skeptical, decided to try. That night he gave up his soft bed and slept on the hard floor. At first he tossed and turned, unable to rest. But as days passed, he noticed something strange. He began to sleep more soundly. When he ate simple meals, he found that food tasted better. When he walked barefoot, he felt more alive. Most importantly, his fears began to fade. He realized that comfort had made him weak, but discomfort was making him strong. Years later, when invaders stormed his kingdom, Darius did not panic. His nights on the floor had taught him endurance. His simple meals had taught him gratitude. His barefoot walks had taught him resilience. Though he lost his palace, he did not lose himself. He rebuilt his life with the strength he had gained through voluntary discomfort. Leo listened to the story in silence. "So," he said slowly, "the king became stronger by choosing hardship." His grandfather nodded. "Yes, comfort is like a warm blanket. It feels good, but if you never leave it, you grow weak. Discomfort is like exercise for the soul. It teaches you that you can endure more than you think. It prepares you for life's storms." From that day on, Leo decided to follow the path of voluntary discomfort. He began with small steps, skipping a meal now and then, taking cold showers, walking long distances without complaint. At first it was hard. His body resisted, and his mind whispered excuses. But as time passed, he noticed changes. He no longer feared hunger because he knew he could survive it. The cold did not bother him because he had trained himself to bear it. When hardships came, and they always do, Leo faced them with calmness, not fear. One winter, a terrible storm struck the village. Food grew scarce and the cold was unbearable. Many villagers complained, their spirits broken by suffering. But Leo remained steady. He shared his meager supplies, encouraged his neighbors, and worked tirelessly to help. When someone asked how he stayed so strong, Leo simply said, "I practiced for this." The villagers did not understand at first, but over time they saw the wisdom in his ways. Some even joined him in his practice. They realized that voluntary discomfort was not about punishing oneself. It was about freedom. Freedom from fear, from dependency, from the tyranny of ease. Years later, Leo became a teacher, just like his grandfather. He traveled from village to village, sharing the lesson of voluntary discomfort. His students learned that true strength does not come from avoiding hardship, but from embracing it willingly. They discovered that the more they trained themselves to endure small discomforts, the better they could handle life's inevitable struggles. And so the practice lived on, passed down through generations. Those who followed it found something remarkable. They were no longer slaves to comfort. They were free. The story of Leo and King Darius teaches us a simple but powerful truth. Comfort weakens, but discomfort strengthens. When we choose to face small hardships willingly, we prepare ourselves for greater challenges. We learn that we are stronger than we think. We realize that happiness does not come from avoiding pain, but from mastering it. So ask yourself, when was the last time you chose discomfort over ease? When did you last test your limits? If the answer is never, perhaps it is time to begin. Start small. Skip a meal. Take a cold shower. Walk a little farther. Do not do it because you must, but because you choose to. And in that choice you will find strength you never knew you had. Because in the end, voluntary discomfort is not about suffering. It is about freedom. The freedom to stand unshaken when life tries to break you. The freedom to smile in the face of hardship. The freedom to be truly strong.